Hello. So with these slides, we're going to be continuing our subject of semantic change. We're going to be doing a few things with these slides. We're going to be looking at a couple examples of words that have gone through a kind of complex semantic development. And so we're going to be putting our concepts to use, these concepts of semantic change that we've been learning, like metaphor and metonymy and generalization and so forth. And so as we look at these examples and do this, this is going to be a kind of demonstration of the sort of thing that I want you to try to do when you write your little essay. It's a kind of a report on a word. Your essay is supposed to be kind of a history of or a report on a particular word. So this, what I'm giving you here, is a kind of demonstration or model for the sort of thing that I want you to do. And there is an outline for this that has pretty detailed information that you can follow along with. And so these slides are basically going to explain to you the information that is on the outline for semantic history and analysis. So let's move ahead. There are a couple of concepts that we need to understand first, as we, that we're going to use as we look at these examples. So first of all, the concept of core meaning, or the core meaning of a word. Now, when I say core meaning, what I mean is kind of just the most basic, non-figurative, non-metaphorical meaning of a word. Just think kind of the meaning that you think of first when you hear a word. We're going to refer to that as the core meaning. Now, notice that I have it in scare quotes. That's because core meaning is a little bit problematic. When you think of core meaning, don't think that words have fixed permanent meanings that just stay the same. That's not true. It's not true that a word has a kind of a true fixed meaning that is its core. In fact, the core meaning can shift over time. It could be different. The word can have different core meanings at different times, and also the core meaning may vary, may be different depending on the context where it's being used or the individual, the person who's using it. Think of the word orchestra that I was talking about before. Orchestra back in ancient Greece has the core meaning of a dancing place, and so that's kind of general. Or then if you were in Athens, where they had in the city of Athens, where they actually had the tragedies performed, then you would probably think the core meaning of orchestra would be specifically the dancing space, the space that's right in front of the stage. But nowadays, what's the core meaning of orchestra? It's certainly not a dancing place. It's got to be something like a group of musicians who may be in front of the stage, but not necessarily. They may be on the stage, right? Or in any other context where you have a group of musicians playing together. This could be an orchestra, so that would be the core meaning. So the point here, in any case, is that core meaning, this concept of core meaning, is going to be useful to us, but you have to be nuanced in thinking about it. The core meaning may be different at different times and different contexts, and it's not something that's just like some fixed, permanent, essential meaning of the word. Words can shift in all kinds of ways in their meaning. They don't have this permanent, fixed meaning. So that's one concept to understand. Now, secondly, as we do our semantic analysis or our semantic history of words, we're going to follow two approaches. And I hope this is what I want you to try to do when you're looking at a word too. So one approach to looking at the semantics of a word is to just look at its current usage, right? Or at least near usage in this kind of modern time. And when you look at the current usage of a word, one way to analyze it is you can try to identify a core meaning that the word has, plus then it may have a variety of extended, metaphorical, metonymic, specialized, all different kinds of other meanings that it's in ways in which it's been used. So that's one way to analyze the word, and we're going to do that with a couple examples. The second approach is to look at the history or the etymology of the word, to go back and see what meaning did it have originally, right? Like the word orchestra, I told you about what the original core meaning of it was, and then try to give a story, a history, an account of how this word has changed in its meaning, right? So that we saw that orchestra has really lost its original core meaning and has a very different one now. So this is a second approach to analyzing the semantics of words. And when we do both, we're going to see processes that we've talked about, like metaphor and generalization and specialization and so forth. And so again, this is the kind of thing that you're going to be doing when you write your two essays, one on a Greek word and one on a Latin word. So of course, we'll talk more about these as we go along.